Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Pearl and welcome to The Help. So for those that have been following my episodes, I'm sure you remember that I once shared my story, the story about the death of my father and how that impacted on me, how I felt I had been forgotten, how I was hurt, how my father had been the breadwinner and how I saw things drastically change because the breadwinner was not there anymore, how my mother then had to be always away, trying to source funds just so I could go to school, just so I could have decent clothes on, and yeah, all those things. So I always tell my friends that if I shared my story with people and then I forgot to mention how God came through for my life, then my story will be so incomplete. So yeah, I got born again when I was around 17, 18. I don't remember the exact year, but I know that when I got born again, I was so desperate. I desperately needed someone to come through for me. I desperately needed to be delivered, like to be redeemed. I desperately needed someone who was just going to come into my life and just shed some light. I felt like I was so much in darkness. I was consumed by grief. I was so bitter. I had been disturbed. I could not connect to my relatives. So I know deep within that I needed help. I needed somebody to come through for me, and people were not coming through for me. I remember going to church, and when you're at church and you're seeing families together and they're praising God and they're loving God, and you're just there as a child and you're just wishing someone can just come to you and just love you too, but people were not doing that. No one was really doing that. It was until someone came up to me and told me about a father who was in heaven. I did not have an earthly father, and I was feeling it, and it was affecting me in very serious ways. So someone came to me and told me about a father in heaven who loves me, who takes care of me, who knows about me, who knows everything that is going on within me, and a father who could redeem me. They went on to tell me about the love of Jesus Christ, his works on the cross, and how I mattered to him. And they told me about a Jesus who could carry all my burdens, a Jesus who could bring life into my situation, a Jesus who could heal my broken heart, and all those things. So when I turned to God, I know I was desperate, and God had to work in my life. I did not want to turn to a religion. I did not want to turn to a church. I did not want to turn to people because people had failed me. When I turned to God, I was so desperate, and I'll be frank, I thought it was just one of those things that people say to each other. Like, I just thought people were just being religious about God, so God can heal you, God can do that. So when I turned to him, I was so waiting for him to fail me. But the truth of the matter is that God has never failed me. God has come through in my life in ways that I can't even begin to explain to people. I look at all the vulnerable people. I look at orphans. I look at widows. I look at all those people, the sick and those that are lost. I look at the children that are living on the streets. I look at the families that are going through divorce, marriage issues. I look at those that are financially unstable, all those people that are needing help. And I just look at them and I say, you know what? I wish they knew what I was told. I wish they knew about the God who saves. I wish they knew about the God who turns people's lives around. I remember when I was around part 2 at school, my mom did not have money for school fees. And when I went home, there was no food. A lot of things were just so amiss. And she said to me, this semester you might not be going to school. And it broke my heart. It literally just broke my heart. And so I remember her saying, you know what, let's go to the bank. I was funded, my education was funded by the War Veterans Fund. So she was like, so the funds, I'm told that the government did not give us anything, but we can go just check. I remember just going with her, and I was just like, God, this is where I need to see you. We've been told stories about you parting the Red Seas and all those mega things that you used to do in the Bible. And so I needed to see that God was going to work in my life. So we went to the bank, and so my mom just went to the bank teller and was like, I need everything that I have on my account. So she thought she had nothing. So she just thought the teller was going to just send her away and all that. I was outside the bank just praying in my heart. and just waiting to give up on God. But I want to tell you that my mom walked out of the bank with money that could cover for my school fees, my tuition, my money, like the food stuff and everything. So at that moment, I realized that God works. Sometimes we turn to people for help, but people always fail us. If we are to be frank, people have a way of just failing us and letting us down. God has never failed me. God has never let me down. So I really thought it's very important for me to also tell the people what healed me, what helped me, to tell people what I'm holding on to right now, what gives me the courage to just be saying all these things to people. I know there's a God in heaven who never fails us. I know there's a God who loves us. And I know that some people out there are going through the hardest and the crappiest things in life, and they don't know about Jesus. And if you are listening to me, I want to tell you that you are the channel to those people. You can just reach out and tell them about the love of God, and you can just tell them to try God out. So to that effect, I remember when I was part 4, well, when I was about to graduate, and so all those feelings of insecurity, self-esteem, and all that crept in. I did not know what my tomorrow was going to be like. I did not know if I was going to get a job. You know, when you're asking yourself, am I even going to get married? Am I going back to my family? Is that the kind of life that I want? The thing is, when I was at UZ, I was so exposed to the good kind of life, and people that were Christians and they were loving God, and God was just prospering them. And so I was just saying to myself, you know what, if God can do that for other people, surely He can do it for me. So when I was graduating now, all those things came in. Now I was like, so is God gonna do this? What is God going to do with me in my life? Is it gonna come through, or is He just gonna fail me? And I was saying, God, after having taken me this far, is He the kind of God who was going to leave me now? And well, He didn't leave me. I will continue my story on part 2 of this episode. Thank you.